Welcome to the podcast of the Coaches Next Door.
This is a podcast for self-coaching, for getting more insights about yourself, others, and the world in mind, body, emotions, behavior, patterns, and results.
Welcome to the podcast, The Coaches Next Door. I'm Ligia, and I want to talk to you about a great metaphor. A metaphor that is all over the place. And sometimes I think that we don't know exactly where we are talking about. So I made my mission to show you what we are talking about when we use the metaphor of the subconscious. So a lot of times, and probably you already heard in different contexts, about the conscious mind and the subconscious or unconscious mind. Some people say don't use the word unconscious because that is like when people, I don't know, are in coma or they faint. But that is a way to connect with a different part of not only our brain, but a different part of our system. So I want to talk to you about this because I think sometimes people are talking about these two elements as they are two different things, first of all, and they make this as a reality. So the truth is that we don't have a conscious and a subconscious. So this is just a metaphor for us to understand that we have different points where we have information. So, how can we amplify the communication of these two parts where our information is, let's say, saved? And now this can help us. How this can really amplify our competences and our skills. Because sometimes we know things, but we don't know how we know those things. Do you have this experience? I'm going to tell you one moment that I had this experience, and was a very strong moment for me. So I was in India, and I went there by myself. So a lot of the walks and the trips that I did by myself. And was a moment that I was in a mountain, a sacred mountain, and I was walking, and some people are living in this mountain. So they have very small houses there. So I was walking, and one lady, very old, she grabbed my hand, and she took my hand, and she put my hands on her knee. And I didn't understand exactly what she was doing. But yeah, I didn't understand. But for some reason, I was like there, just doing that. After, I don't know how long, but for me, being on the floor with my hands on the knee of a person that I never met, sounded like a long time, was a man passing, an Indian guy passing, and he said to me, "Oh, are you doing consultations?" And I was like, "What? Doing consultation? No." And the lady was not speaking English, so he was speaking a good English. And I said, no, can you please help me? Because I really don't understand why this lady asked me to do this. And he's like, "Oh, okay." So he came, and I said, I said, "What happened?" And I said, "Okay, I was walking, and this lady, she grabbed my hands, and she put my hands in her knee." And he said, "Oh." And I go like, "Okay, I think he knows what this is all about." And I said, "Okay, do you understand what is happening here?" And he said, "Yes, she wants you to cure her and to help her with her knee." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how to help her. And he said, no. She knows that you can help her. And at that moment, I must confess that I was like, oh my God, what this means. But something in me said, you know what you're doing. So that's why I was doing it. In any moment, I felt like I don't want to do this. I felt like I'm doing it. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I will be doing it. Then I stopped. The lady was really appreciated, and she said to me, by the translation of the man, she said to me, thank you so much, because this was really painful and you helped me. And I was like, okay, good that I could do that. So I continue my journey on the mountain, and then I end up in the place that was for us to sit down and meditate. And of course, that moment with the lady made me really go to a meditation of asking myself, how did I knew what to do? And all my sensation was like, you know how to do this. And I was still a little bit suspicious. Because, we want to know. We want to know. We want to study. We want a diploma. We want a paper. We want someone to tell us, you know this. And for many years, I suffered from that. I was always like, I need to study more. I need to know more. I cannot even count the number of courses and books and teachers that I had along the way. Because I wanted to know, how do I know things? I also wanted someone to tell me, you know this, almost someone evaluating my degree of knowledge. But how many times you just know? How many times when you stop and you have this feeling, this sensation of, I know how to do this. And I never learned it, formally at least, but I know how to do this. For me, it took me a long time, or at least the time that I needed, to accept that some things I just know. And of course, if someone asks me, how do you know that? I will say, I just know. Before, I will need to say, oh, I studied it, or I read this, or I heard someone telling this to me. So right now, I get a little bit more and much more confident on saying, I just know. And how I get this confidence is because I know that I'm learning with everything. With everything. I'm learning even when I don't know that I'm learning. So every time that you are seeing a movie, every time that you go to a different place, every time that someone's talking to you, every time that sometimes you are not even paying attention, but whatever is passing, a bus with a name, you go by your car with your car and you see something, that is going to be in your system, but not in your conscious mind, because that is a place that you have a limit. We tend to say that you have a limit of attention. So you cannot pay attention to everything that is happening. So, for instance, in this scenario, some of you are going to be paying attention to me. I hope so. And some of you are already reading the titles of these books because this is your focus. Some of you are paying attention to the colors, and some of you are paying attention to me and the plant. So you can pay attention to both things at the same time. But our conscious attention is limited. So we tend to say by some studies that we can pay attention to 7 to 9 things at the same time. And after that, our conscience is full. So when this is full, it's going to a different part of us. It's going to that type of memory that is not only in our conscious mind, that we are not fully paying attention, but we still preserve that information. So our subconscious or our unconscious is a place that is unlimited in terms of resources of information. Is a place that we can, is the automatic pilot, is the place that we are going to get information that sometimes we are not even aware that we have. That's why, for instance, sometimes you are, I don't know, taking a decision and suddenly you feel a thing in your stomach, or you get a tick. Some people get ticks. This is all signals from that part of your system that has a little bit more information that you're conscious. So why and how can we use this for us in our own favor? First of all, is being able to calibrate. What is calibration? Is detecting the difference that makes the difference. So if, for instance, I'm here talking to you, I don't feel anything, and suddenly I say a word and my stomach starts to burn, I know that that is a signal. Something is happening differently in my stomach or in my system that I need to start paying attention to. What happens is that most part of the times we get distracted. And you cannot imagine the number of times that people say to me, Ligia, I have this pain forever. Every time that this happens, boom, here comes the pain. And I go like, this is not random. The system is not doing things just to do it. Everything is with an intention. So if your system is doing that, every time that this same context appears, that is a signal from your system. You need to pay attention to it. Because your system is much bigger than the things that you are paying attention to. So, first of all, is about realizing that your system is always communicating. For instance, right now, let me tell you a secret. My stomach is communicating that it's better that I have food. So, it's communicating, hey lady, this is empty, so we need some food. So if you hear some sounds, it's coming from there, okay? So my system is always saying things to me. Why I will ignore it? If I get more information, why I will ignore it? Why I will pretend that this is not there? No, I just say, oh, okay, I hear you. I will stop. When I stop this recording, I will eat. And I will do it because I will respect myself in that terms, okay? So first of all, is realizing that your system is always communicating, and everything you can accept it as a signal, as even a metaphor for something, is trying to get you or get your attention because something needs to change, okay? So being able to get full attention to whatever is happening to your system is also a way of, let's call it self-love, let's call it self-care, let's call it self-respect. Because if your system is talking, is you talking. So one of the ways of amplifying your self-care, self-love, self-respect is really to start paying attention to your system and act upon the signals that you are having. And another thing is to detect and to learn also with your system, to get curious about, okay, but why my system is giving me this information right now? Why my system is giving me this signal? instead of, oh, okay, I will let it go, or, oh, okay, I will deal with this later. So, learning with our own self. Yesterday, I put a post, and I thought, oh my God, it's a little bit, yeah, I don't know how to call it, but at the same time, I felt maybe this is going to be seen as a little bit of too much. But then I thought, no, but this is true. This is the truth for me. And it was I put a story and I put, I am my own muse. And and of course, sometimes can look a little bit like, oh, it's a little bit too much, but it's the truth. How much can I learn from myself? How much can I validate my own learnings by myself? Saying, okay, what is the signal that my system is doing? And what is the signal that my system is giving to me? What can I learn from it? What can I learn from myself? And what can I learn when I deal with other people? Because again, we have knowledge that sometimes we don't even realize that we have. And this is not even a meta thing, it's a very concrete now thing. Is your system is always absorbing information that for your balance and your equilibrium, your system is cleaning and is organizing. And some of these things, they will not be available in your conscious mind because it's not interesting. But will still be there. So how can we amplify this awareness of our system? Yeah, some people will say automatically meditate. I will say, interesting, I like it, but I know that is not for everyone. So a good thing is just seeing it, hearing it, feeling it. Is finding moments that you find, okay, I'm not having a lot of interference from outside, and I'm just going to pay a little bit of attention of what is happening in my own system. Where do I feel tension right now? Oh, okay, I'm feeling a little bit of tension of my feet because, I'm sitting with one leg on top of one of my feet, so I feel that tension. That is a point that I feel tension. Simple like that. Of course, if you want to take this a little bit further, you can meditate, you can rest, you can do a lot of other things. But just a common thing, just pay attention, just say, okay, your conscience is smart enough, because if I say to you right now, pay attention to your big toe, one of your big toes, suddenly you start paying attention to that, right? And if I don't talk anymore about it, in some seconds, that attention will disappear because it's not interesting. It's nothing happening there. So your system is not going to pay attention to something that is not relevant at this moment. But if I talk again and I say, think about your big toe, you go again. So use your conscience to say what I want to pay attention to right now. I want to pay attention to the color of this wall. I want to pay attention to my own self. I want to pay attention to my body. I want to pay attention to someone that is here with me. So you can use the metaphor of the conscience to say what I'm going to pay attention right now. What is the thing that I will pay attention to? And that thing can be, I want to pay attention to my own system. I want to pay attention to all the feelings and sensations that my body is having right now. So it's not complicated. It's indeed very simple. when you amplify this, when you are using both, or let's say all the information that you have available, can you imagine? Can you imagine the things that you will know? Can you imagine the things that you can be doing? Can you imagine all the things that until now they could look a little bit further from you? And right now, if you use all the information, it's not difficult anymore. Maybe I even have a similar experience that I can use. Yeah? So think about it and just decide where are you going to put your attention. And it's not even complicated. It's very simple. And this is a way to amplify your knowledge without the need of studying more. Because I'm pretty sure you already know a lot. Take care. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening. The Coach is next door. And follow up. We have new episodes coming in. And every month you have a new episode that you can listen to. And remember, you can always share these episodes with someone that you think that could be a benefit or could feel a benefit from these episodes. And we will really like to receive also your comments and your questions. And if you want me to talk about something in particular that will fit you or your needs or your curiosities, please reach out by email, by a message, by a comment. I'm pretty sure you will find your way. Thank you so much, and we hear each other. Take care.